And it's Free Speech Fridays, brought to you by the Free Speech Union, the champions of free speech in New Zealand. And every Friday for half an hour, we find two free-thinking New Zealanders, and we chew over the events of the week, often in a free speech context. Very happy to be welcoming, for the first time to Free Speech Friday, my dietary advisor, and well-known academic, Professor Grant Schofield. Though, Grant, let's get in the disclaimer. The views and opinions you will express this morning are yours and yours alone, and do not represent your employers or any institution you work for.
100%.
Good on you. Lovely to have you with us. Thanks for saying yes. And paired up with Grant this morning, a true old tusker of Free Speech Fridays, a good friend from the backbencher gastro pub opposite Parliament in Wellington, Boyce, Alistair Boyce. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, Sean. Thank you.
All right. Are you over the disappointment of the Argentine loss last weekend?
Yeah. I didn't really get into it that much. I was still recovering sort of from the Olympics and everything.
All right. All right, let's start there as you've brought that up. Look, and I did a little poll, and I think it was Ray Gunn and the cross-dressing or the drag queen opening ceremony came up as the low points, not the Algerian bloke who was boxing. Grant, looking at the Olympics as an event, and you will have been watching them like me and Boyce your whole life, are the Olympics what they used to be?
Yeah, I don't reckon they are. I mean, they've always been tending towards big business, and there's been a lot written about the corruption in the IOC and whatnot over the years, and I think that's more or less still going on, but we sort of accept that now and get on with it. I don't know about all these new sports, like we'll get to the breakdancing, I suppose, but why do we have to keep putting in things? There's some sort of tradition here. Can't we just keep with the athletics and the swimming?
And that's why Hamish Kerr's medal, Grant, to me was awesome, because high jump's one of the classics, and I use the word in every sense. That's a classic thing to win an Olympic gold medal in, isn't it?
Well, one bloke, nothing else, he runs up and jumps over a bar by himself, and to put it in perspective for people, I had a few builder mates over the weekend. They're like, "Oh, you're 2.4 metres. That's the standard height of a ceiling in a house. Run up and I'll leap over that." Bloody good stuff.
Boyce, what do you reckon with the Olympics? Have they become almost a distraction? Are they as good as they used to be, if you like, in our day?
Well, I went from the low of the Dionysus Last Supper and the self-indulgent, narcissistic propaganda that it was, and then they made the athletes swim in the River Seine, which was full of effluent, and then we had the XY men beating up the XX woman. And it sort of put me on a downer. But then by the end of it, with Lisa Carrington and Hamish Kerr especially, but Lisa Carrington, the god of the Olympics for New Zealand.
Goddess, I think you say. Well, he, him, he, she, they.
Yeah, I'm trying to be politically correct here, Sean. Come on, we're trying to add a bit of...
and I have to admit, Boyce, that gradual thawing, and by the end of it, I think I said on the show, I was watching and really interested that a Malaysian was being disqualified by the men's Keirin final, in which there wasn't even a New Zealander competing. And Grant, I thought, bugger it. The magic of the Olympics has seduced me yet again.
Yeah, I started off just going, I don't even care about the Olympics. And by the end, especially because it's a contrast. So the All Blacks were shithouse, let's face it, against the Argies.
Yep.
And so, but that was the same night we won 3 medals and closed out the whole thing. And Lydia Ko, you didn't mention Lydia Ko there. I thought
that was great. Yeah. All right. So actually, we're all going to sit there and be honest. We're not a cynical. I want to get back to let's go back to two of the big controversies. First of all, the boxing. And I can identify that this individual who won the gold medal probably felt a lot of pressure and everything. But I want to ask you this, Grant. If you are born with ambiguous sexuality, okay, and very few people are, and it must be a hell of a position, but some people are, and I think we could say this individual was born with some ambiguity around their sex, right, their sexuality. Wouldn't taking part in a sport where that ambiguity gives you an unfair advantage and raises questions about you, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you choose a different sport?
Well, I just don't think they're fit for the Olympics, and it's not an all-inclusive situation here, mate. It's like you're born a little person, you're not in the high jump, like you're out.
Yeah,
and you're not pole vaulting. Let's face it, and so they're disadvantaged by those sort of genetic abnormalities.
Blind people don't do target
the other
shooting.
Way, they're out as well. You're out.
Yeah, bad eyesight. You're not going to be a target shooter.
Well, you could have a go, but it's probably not going to end well.
Yeah, okay. And Boyce, is that what you feel, that maybe... And it felt like in some ways this boxing thing was a whole lot of politically correct, and when we saw the IOC sitting there saying, we're not really worried about tests or anything, did you get the feeling it was all about people making a broader political point rather than the fairness of competition, Boyce?
Well, it was manifestly unfair. You cannot compare that XY athlete to an XX athlete in the form of boxing, and it was ridiculously dangerous. Plenty of boxers, they get killed in the ring, and they get damaged brains for the rest of their lives. And the power of the Algerian boxer versus the Italian one, that was the one I watched, when she pulled the pin after 46 seconds, she did the right thing because she was on a hiding to nothing. There was no way that she could beat that reach or that power. So it wasn't a fair fight, and it shouldn't have taken place.
Yeah. All right. The other one, the other huge, and it went global on social media, and I talked to Avi Yemeni from Australia about this yesterday. Raylene, classic Australian name, Raylene Gunn, their breakdancer, and all sorts of questions about exactly who Raylene Gunn is and if she got to the Olympics fairly, because she got 0 points for her breakdancing. Breakdancing no longer in the Olympics. But this grant seemed to expose the gravy train nature of big organisations like the Olympics and Olympic committees around the world. The fact that someone with virtually no talent in their given field, with their husband as their coach, could make an international competition.
See, I reckon. Well, there's a couple of things going on here. I mean, first of all, it's a disgrace. And it's the Aussies, which is even better. So it's sort of good because we can ridicule them. So let's just face the fact it's fun as well. And there's a second thing. One of the reasons I reckon it went viral on social is because people look at it, it's like, I could do that. No, in fact, my dog's doing that right now. Yeah. Here's a video.
Yeah, I reckon I could give that a crack. That's right.
Yeah, so that's one thing. But I reckon there's another more sinister layer here, right? So there's a whole thing, and part of it's this academic bullshit stuff that she's coming from. So let's just have a look at what's going on there. And one thing that's going on...
Well, I can ask you, Grant, do you work with people like that who are just gaming the system?
100%. Yeah. Okay. But it's worse than that. This research is a sort of postmodern feminist, male hegemony. It's just, it's just nonsense. And so, I actually, you see her doing some dancing in the closing ceremony with the Aussie team around her. She can actually, pull a few of the actual moves. Yeah. Nothing that she did there. And I reckon there's a whole layer of going, well, I just don't want to expose this into the, there's a whole layer of what all three of us would see as an alternative reality. Yeah. Going on. So that's all sitting there. You should. I mean, Boyce,
I would go as far to say you could dance better than she did. And that is saying something.
Well, I could say the same. You should. I think we should work on your diet with our nutritionist friend.
Oh, Jesus.
We could save your life in 5 minutes on the show live.
Would you agree, though, that the whole Reagan thing, it was just... and guys, we're all of an age, and we sit there and think, what's happened to the world? It's like there is an alternate universe. And I guess the Reagan stuff was that alternate universe just slap bang in our faces, wasn't it, Boyce?
Yeah, it's just bizarre. How on earth did that happen? I don't even know how breakdancing got to the Olympics, let alone how you get a situation like this.
I hate to say I told you so. Just before the opening of the Olympics, I did a thing on Olympics on the show, and I said, how the hell is breakdancing in the Olympics? This was not going to end well. I'm just saying. Spooky, but I was proven right.
You were.
All right, look, and let's just quickly go to other sports that, kind of questionable. Speed climbing. Grant, speed.
No, I loved it.
You loved it.
It was like real life Spider-Man. They were just going.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's deserved of the Olympics, but it's sort of choice that it's happened. These are the sort of superhumans. So it was.
I say do it without the safety rope, though. It'd just be much more exciting. to be honest. All right. Look, I think we've covered off the Olympics well. Look, and I'm going to give you, I want you two to vote now. Worst moment of the Olympics, I'm going to give you 3 choices. Drag queen opening, ray gun dancing, Algerian boxer. Which was the low point to your mind, Grant?
Algerian boxer.
Boise, Algerian boxer, ray gun dancing, drag queen opening, low point?
The drag queen opening was patently ridiculous.
All right, we're not speaking as one there. And I'm going to go for ray gun dancing just because it was so bizarre. Guys, we're going to have a break. We've got other stuff to cover. It is 8:44 on the Free Speech Friday, brought to you by the Free Speech Union.